These with bronchospasms. And when it bronchospasms sometimes, it's like the blood vessels in my head do this. And then I end up with migraines, which kind of sucks, which I'm kind of in a migraine right now, day 4 of migraine. So when I get migraines, they're about, I'd say anywhere between, a good one's only 3 days, but about 5 to 6 days, somewhere in there. It really sucks. There's a point I can't move or anything like that because it just hurts so bad. But I'm not in a super bad part of it right now. So, as for you, son of man, your people are talking about you beside the walls and the doorways of houses. They say to one another, "Let's go hear the latest word that comes from the Lord." My people come to you, gathering as a crowd, and sitting in front of you to hear your words, but they will not act on them. Love songs are on their lips, but in their hearts they pursue dishonest gain. For them you are only a singer of love songs, with a pleasant voice and a clever touch. They listen to your words, but they do not obey them. But when it comes, and it is surely coming, they shall know that there was a prophet among them. Yay, Jesus Christ! Yay, Ezekiel's talking about Jesus Christ. That's Ezekiel 34, 30 through 33. Let me see if I can try to show it. So you know I'm telling the truth. Hold on. See, as for you, son of man, your people are talking about you beside the walls and the doorways of houses. They say to one another, "Let's go hear the latest word that comes from the Lord." My people come to you, gathering as a crowd and sitting in front of you to hear your words, but they will not act on them. Love songs are on their lips, but in their hearts they pursue dishonest gain. For them you are only a singer of love songs, with a pleasant voice and a clever touch. They listen to your words, but they do not obey them. But when it comes, and it is surely coming, they shall know that there was a prophet among them. And I think it's talking about Jesus Christ. But they still didn't listen. I mean, because there was people that didn't listen to Jesus Christ. I mean, come on, let's be realistic. I mean, if I was born exactly when Jesus Christ was born, some of this stuff would be kind of like, with only faith, I can believe that, sir. I'm telling you. Okay, so I really like Ezekiel. I named my RSN after Ezekiel. I named it Zeke for short, but I love Ezekiel. It's one of the best books I've ever read in my life. It has so much love and so much compassion and just so much realistic expectations of the world and the expectations that we're supposed to have. And it's a really good book. It's really solid. The word of the Lord came to me, son of man. What is the meaning? This is Ezekiel 18. Here, let me try finding the actual version, kind of like church, and then we'll put it up on the screen, and then you can read along. Let's see here. We're looking for, this one is the New American Bible. Yay, I'm an American. Is it the Revised Edition, or just the regular version? It is the Revised Edition, okay. Hopefully this doesn't run over too long. Someone said they wanted a Bible study, so I put one in there. Alright, hold on, let's see. Let me see. I got lost. Oh, Bible book. Nice. Ezekiel. Ezekiel, let me go to you. Thank you. Ezekiel 1. No, Ezekiel. How do I change the number? Ezekiel 18. Oh, thank God. Personal responsibility. I need some of that in my life. The word of the Lord came to me, son of man. What is the meaning of this proverb you recite in the land of Israel? Parents eat sour grapes. What? I think that's, what is that? Wine? But the children's teeth are set on edge. As I live, oracle of the Lord God. Now, see, my brother, he told me he enjoyed the oracles, and I was like, what are you talking about? Apparently, these are oracles. I swear that none of you will ever repeat this proverb in Israel. For all life is mine. The life of the parent is the life of the child, both are mine. Only the one who sins shall die. If a man is just, if he does what is right, if he does not eat on the mountains, or raise his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, if he does not defile a neighbor's wife, or have relations with a woman during her period, If he oppresses no one, pays back the pledge received for a debt, commits no robbery, gives food to the hungry and clothes the naked, if he does not lend in interest or exact usury, if he refrains from evil doing and makes a fair judgment between two opponents, if he walks by my statutes and is careful to observe my ordinances, that man is just, he shall surely live, oracle of the Lord God. But if he begets a son who is violent and commits murder, or does any of these things, even though the father does none of them, it's so great. That's why I love Ezekiel. I read this part and I was like, yes! It means God doesn't sin. And he doesn't. God doesn't sin. God never asks us to sin. Ever. Ever, 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 forever, ever. I'm serious. God has never asked me to sin. Not one time. Not one time. Not one time. Not for no reason. Not one time. But I knew this, and then when I read this, I was like, yes! I got a way I can explain it now. A son who eats on mountains defiles the wife of his neighbor, oppresses the poor and the needy, commits robbery, does not give back a pledge, raises his eyes to idols, does abominable things. Now, think about giving back a pledge. Okay, let's say you say something really bad when you're really angry. And this is reference to Leviticus, I believe, as in if you vow or oath something that's not honest, as in you say that you're going to do something really bad, and this is what it means by giving back a pledge. Because you said it, then you realize, okay, that you're pledging for sin, and then you choose not to sin. That's known as giving back a pledge. Otherwise, it doesn't make any difference if you sin just because you said you would, and it doesn't make you truthful for doing it. If anything, it makes you more dishonest. Like, hypothetical, say you're upset, you're poor, and you got no food to eat, right? And then you think, oh, and you say, just hypothetical, of course, that you're going to steal something out of the store so you have something to eat and you deserve it or whatever. And whatever the coveting one was, Lena. Lena was my ex-fiance. Well, not my ex. She was my ex. She was a woman that I was engaged to and involved in a romantic relationship that has came to an end previously, before now. So, that's what it is. I don't like the ex thing, because you're not supposed to hate who you love. That doesn't make sense. But anyway, so like you're going to take something out of the store, whatever. It's not whatever, it's a big deal. But my point is, if you say it, and then you're like, oh wow, I'm not supposed to do that. That's what's known as taking back a pledge. And that's valid to do so. If anyone tries to hold you to a bad pledge, they're not your friend. You know, but you said you were going da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, like that type of thing, they're not your friend. They're not. They might be your friend, I retract, they might be your friend, but they don't have the best guidance or the best thing in their heart or something. I don't know. I'm being judgmental. I've made the mistake. I've said I'd do really bad things, and then I did really bad things because I thought it made me truthful, but it didn't. It made me dishonest because it says right here, does not give back a pledge. And by doing what I said I was going to do that was evil, I didn't take my pledge back. And God doesn't like that. Raising his eyes to idols, does abominable things, lends at interest, and is and sorry, the son certainly shall not live. If you come by this concept right here, then debit and credit doesn't exist. It doesn't actually exist. Because you're not supposed to lend at interest. Ever. You're supposed to lend for lend, if that makes sense. Like, you're supposed to give for give, if that makes sense. Like, I willingly give you this crust of this piece of pizza, right? But I don't expect anything back in return. And then you come back, and you give me a crust of pizza. That's not a loan. That's how economy is actually supposed to work. But if you can give someone this piece of crust for, I hope I'm not causing anyone to covet. I apologize if I am. I don't think I am. I think I'm making a point. For this pizza. So I'm going to give you this, and you got to give me this in return. Do you see how that doesn't make sense? Because I'm only giving you the crust, and I'm expecting a slice of pizza. Does that make any sense to anyone out there? Makes a lot of sense to me, but I'm in a lot of debt, as they call it. I had someone call me up today. They're like, oh, well, hold on, I'll look it up. Said I owed. Apparently, I owed for an ER visit. It was an emergency room visit. Hold on. I wasn't harmed, thank God. I was just abducted from my home. Which actually what occurred. They put me on a stretcher, and they put me in physical restraints, and then they transported me to the emergency room when I didn't claim to be having any type of medical issue. Like, I wasn't having a heart attack. I mean, seriously, me being put in that stretcher. I mean, what if someone else is having a heart attack and they actually needed an ambulance? I mean, for real. Or a stroke. You know? So, like, that's why I felt bad about it too, is because I'm like, hey, y'all are not doing right because y'all are using y'all's power in the incorrect way. Which I've done before. Okay, I wrote it down somewhere. But yeah, basically, they took me to what I consider medical prison, and I was put on psychiatric drugs, and they tried to say the drugs made me more sane. It's normally what they try. You were so bad when you came in. That was so bad, huh? That was so bad. Why are you releasing me in 30 days? I don't know. I wrote it down somewhere. Hold on. Oh, they got me thinking they'll do 1 to 3 months they'll pay, or 6 months, or something before they probably charge me interest on it. $1,372. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to me. $1,372 for whatever all that was. Which I'm grateful it happened because it's part of my life, and I'm grateful that it happened because I met another brother in Christ while I was in there. And I'm definitely grateful for that. I mean, I don't regret going, but I feel that it could have been handled in a different way. But that's kind of what I told him. I talked to him too. But anyway, back here, that's about taking back the pledge, which I learned in Leviticus that that is the case. So if you say something when you're angry, just remember if it's a sin that you claimed you were going to do, you better take your pledge back, and you better take it back as fast as you can. And I'm not trying to like scare you, but I have read in the Bible somewhere that it says it works the same way with promises. When we promise anything, it's as if we promise it to God. Anytime you promise anything, and that you must do it as soon as you can. As soon as you can. Don't put off promises. And if they're promises you're just like, it really feels like it's not the right thing, then, you know, pray about it. I mean, seriously. Just because you promise something, if you realize it ain't the right thing to do, then you need to be an adult and tell that person, or, you know, a fine, you know, youngin', and say, hey, I made a mistake promising you I'd do this. I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. But it's pretty much, I think we'll go with Solomon and a proverb. Oh, wait, here we go. When's the entrance is actually sure the sun shall, the sun, what will it? Sun certainly shall not live, because he practices all these abominations. He'll surely be put to death, his own blood shall be on him. Now what this means is here, don't grab your pitchfork. That's not what it means. What it means is surely be put to death, as in if we continue to sin, we will be separated from God, which is damnation. It doesn't mean go grab your pitchfork and, okay? Why? I can prove it. I can prove it with the Bible. Alright, here we go. I know how to prove it, and I'm grateful that I know how to prove it. I'm very thankful that I know how to prove it. I can prove it without even, I can prove it. Right there. Number 13, you shall not kill. If God doesn't kill, then that's not what it means when he surely put to death. Which I actually made that mistake. Me and my brother, we were reading the Bible, and we saw a part in there that mentioned if someone strikes their elder, that they be put to death. And we thought that meant to kill them. And that is not the correct case. I'm very grateful that we realized this. But it's the truth. You're not supposed to murder, ever. I shall not kill, ever. I should put ever on there. You should not kill, ever. But we get it. At any time, anywhere, any moment, any place, anybody. Don't kill. Pretty much. Simple. But it's like the other ones too. Thou shalt not lie. Let's just go through the Exodus real fast. I like it. Remember the Sabbath day. Keep it holy. Actually, God keeps it holy. I think that's why they have the indention. There's more to it, is my point. That's why the indent's there. They just didn't care to put the rest in, I guess. Because I've read the one that says God keeps the Sabbath holy. That's the only way we know how. I mean, come on. Who created the Sabbath? God. Who will know how to keep the Sabbath holy? God. So, come on. Yay, Lord your God. The Lord part, it just cracks me up. Excuse me. Oh, no other gods. I like this. We speak of God only for God and for the righteous of God. And there's only one God. I think that makes so much more sense to me than you should not have other gods before me. Because what about all Greek mythology and stuff like that, Oh, Roman mythology? Egyptian mythology? I mean, come on, there's a lot of mythology out there. You should not make for yourself an idol